So for me, it depends on your time horizon. I mean, I don't look at it in year to year gains. You look at it full cycle gains. Full cycle for me is the business cycle. So it's not necessarily the 4 year, Bitcoin cycle. So you look at the gains over the cycle, and over time they compound. So here we've had a year which has been pretty lackluster. It's gone nowhere at Bitcoin level. But at Bitcoin level means that everything below that has underperformed. And I get it. It feels terrible.
Bitcoin and the crypto market should be viewed over full business cycles rather than year-to-year gains. While Bitcoin has been flat this year, most altcoins have underperformed. Smart investors focus on disciplined allocation and learning from small losses without risking core capital. Economic activity remains weak, with low real wages and limited retail spending keeping broader crypto adoption slow. Policy changes like rate cuts and tax relief could revive the economy and support market growth. Recent dips in Bitcoin have put pressure on short-term holders, but accumulation by larger wallets hints at potential recovery. The market now sits at a crossroads. Either demand returns soon or Bitcoin enters a longer accumulation phase. Historically, December tends to be calmer, giving investors time to prepare.
Stop. You don't have time. Don't miss out this 2025 bull run. Educate yourself first ahead of the crowd. We have created the ultimate step-by-step crypto cheat guide that will guide you this bull run. Unlock the secrets of crypto and make smarter investments today. Now by clicking on the link below to get your exclusive copy just under $10.
It's exactly what the ISM is telling us. The ISM survey has been below 50 the entire cycle. It's the lowest, it's the longest period of below 50 ISM. So that's no real economic expansion in history now. And so that is exactly the K-shaped recovery, because what we've got is this massive capex boom going on in the hyperscalers and the AI space, some government spending, and then other than that, the economy is pretty flat. So you're seeing it everywhere. You know it from everywhere. It's one of the reasons why retail haven't come in crypto, because they don't have any disposable income. Real wages are still pretty low. Economic activity for most businesses is not great. And this is the thing that Scott Bessent's been talking about, is how do you increase Main Street activity? And that is what has to happen. That's the rate cuts. That's taking taxes away, not paying taxes on tips and things that run the basic services and the basic economy of what most people live in. So, I think the read of, Chipotle or whatever is dead right. And that is what I think the Trump administration will focus on to try and get the midterms through. And I think they really understand this game. I never liked the DATs to start with, because a lot of the incentives are not aligned. So really it allowed people to get exit liquidity on positions that were locked up and stuff like that. So that I didn't like. Over financialized structures always make me nervous. These look like closed-end funds and they can trade at discounts for whole periods of time. But then you got this issue with, they sell the underlying to buy back the shares. And we're starting to see that. And I think, that can continue in a down market. I think these things trade like perps premiums or futures premiums. So they have negative funding over extended periods of time when the market's like this. And the dynamics are not great. So, if we love the run up because of the DATs we're buying, you're going to love the rundown as they're selling. It's a bit of a mess. And I'm surprised the market allowed this to happen. But how they allowed it to happen was not a great way either, because these things were bought by hedge funds. They bought the pipe, and they just they'll take a 5% turn.
Bitcoin and the crypto market should be viewed over full cycles, not year-to-year gains. While altcoins lag behind, disciplined investors who manage risk and learn from small losses navigate volatility better. Weak economic activity has slowed adoption, but policy changes like rate cuts could support growth. The market is at a crossroads. Demand may return, or Bitcoin could enter a longer accumulation phase. Large wallets accumulating hint at a potential rebound, and historically, December tends to be calmer, giving traders a chance to plan.
Walk away. It's a 60% annualized return. They don't care. But what then? You dump it, and then there's no buyers of this stuff. So then they go to a discount, and then these people are then forced sellers. So it's a mess. Should never have happened.
Yeah. Yeah, you're wrapping a liquid asset into a equities. It's still an illiquid asset, and it dries up really quickly.
Yeah, I mean, some of these will end up doing well if they manage to become ecosystem investment funds that can capture forward value. But selling shares to buy more of the underlying cannot just be an entire business model. I've been lucky enough most of the way through. I mean, I haven't been in Bitcoin all cycle. I've managed to outperform it via just having the right asset allocation. Yeah, bought Solana at the lows and then switched into Sui when it had its run. And it's given a bit back. But generally, that's worked fine. I'm not a big fan of going too far out the risk curve. I have this whole don't fuck this up thesis. And a lot of it is every time you think you're really being smart out the risk curve, your probability of success is pretty small. So I tend to stick with layer ones generally because it's definable. I understand the metrics, I understand what drives them. And then, if I look at my wallet of shame from when I've allowed myself to FOMO in on stuff. I allow myself up to 10% of my portfolio to do that. I probably never even get to 10% because it's just not my comfort zone. If I look at it, every single trade I did lost money.
What's been your worst trade?
I think I've lost near 100% in smoking chicken fish, which was like one of the memes that I held, and I had a reasonable sized position in it. And I thought, I can't get out of it because this is going to nuke the market anyway. So I wrote it down. But, I treat it like a call option. I knew it was the highest probability chance it was going to be a zero. But, you also don't really understand markets until you participate in the elements of it. Yes. You need to get a feel for what it's about to understand what memes are about, how DeFi works, that kind of stuff. So to have a bit of capital that you're going to nuke to learn is a very good thing to do. Yeah, I'm more risk seeking. I'm pretty much 100% crypto, and I'm comfortable with that. And I've been that way for years and years and years and years. So I don't really worry about that. But generally speaking, the portfolio has been split between crypto and tech since December 2022. So we managed to get most of the lows or around the kind of lows period and have held those positions through and through, adding in stuff like solar and a few other themes within it. And because I'm a business cycle investor, that's how I think about it. I won't really change that until I see the business cycle peaking out. And that's generally how it's worked for me over time, is extending your time horizon actually increases your returns, as opposed to, worrying about the next 3 months, 6 months, unless you're hitting a cycle peak or top or bottom.
The crypto market continues to test investors' patience as Bitcoin struggles to follow its usual seasonal trends. While altcoins underperform and short-term holders face losses, long-term, cycle-based strategies remain key. Smart allocation, understanding market dynamics, and learning from small risks help navigate this volatility. Policy changes and macroeconomic shifts could provide the liquidity needed to support future growth. Market sentiment shows early signs of recovery, with large wallets accumulating and activity gradually returning. Traders now watch closely for demand to strengthen or for Bitcoin to enter a prolonged accumulation phase. Historically calmer months ahead could offer opportunities for do you expect Bitcoin to rebound or enter a long-term accumulation phase? How are you adjusting your crypto strategy in the current market conditions? Share your thoughts in the comments.